All right, let's take a look at gold again today. I'm seeing lots of people trying to, well, they're drawing all kinds of trend lines, trying to rationalize breakouts. They see this as a triangle that's going to break higher to the upside and just run away. Slim. There's a possibility of that, but it's slim in my opinion. Um, they, um, as of right now, anyway. This is a fourth daily cycle that topped on day 4. So the only breakout that has any meaning really is a move above, this is about 2026, I think. This, in order to correct this and take the bearish narrative off the table, we have to right translate this fourth daily cycle. And we aren't even close to doing that yet. And by right translate, I mean we have to make a higher high past, if we assume that most cycles run 35 to 40 days, then we need to make a higher high on let's say day 20 to day 35, so somewhere in there we got to make a higher high and negate this fourth day here as the high of the daily cycle. And so far we haven't done that. We're not even really close to doing that. And so as of right now, we've kind of churned away 23 days in this daily cycle, and so far the top has still come on day 4. And every day that goes by that we remain below this 2026, this daily cycle remains left translated and at risk. Once we start down into the daily cycle low, which could start any time now, and if we do so without breaking this, then this entire daily cycle becomes left translated, which means that the odds are high it's going to move below this daily cycle low. Left translated cycles typically drop below the cycle low of the or the previous cycle low of the same degree. So this was our daily cycle low right here. And we've got a very weak fourth daily cycle that has churned away 23 days and still has not been able to produce a higher high above this this fourth day right here. So, as we get into later into this week and then into next week, we're going to be moving into the latter, like the upper 20s of this daily cycle, then into the 30s. And when you get that late in the cycle, you're at risk of starting the move down into the daily cycle low. And if it starts that move down into that daily cycle low, and we still haven't broken above this high right here, we're at risk of breaking this and confirming a failed daily cycle. And that typically happens as we move down into an intermediate cycle low. So I see all of these different trend lines, these cycle trend lines showing a breakout, here or a breakout there. There's no breakout at all until at least this little minor pivot here at about 2000. We'd have to go above that to have any kind of breakout, and the only meaningful breakout would be one above this high right here, this pivot at 2026. We've got to go above that to right translate this fourth daily cycle, and then at that point we have a chance of making higher highs and and going above this right here. But none of these trend lines, these triangle patterns, none of this is valid at the moment unless we can break above 2026. The only trend line, the only valid trend line that really has any meaning at all right now is this intermediate uptrend line. You can see we've been kind of flirting with it here. We had a break below it to retest the 50-day moving average last week. We bounced off that 50-day moving average. That's no surprise. You would kind of expect the first test of the 50-day moving average to hold. And it has, but we haven't really gotten much traction here. We're still flirting with this trend line, and realistically, we're only one $15 down day from breaking this trend line and closing below it, and we're only more or less, one $20 down day from closing below this 50-day moving average and kicking off the move down into the daily cycle low. So I'm going to continue to preach caution right here. This is a left or a fourth daily cycle that is giving me no indication at all that it wants to come up here and make a higher high and right translate this cycle. And if it does, then yes, we're going to have a fifth daily cycle before we get an ICL. But as of right now, we aren't even close to doing that, and we're starting to run out of time. This daily cycle is starting to get very mature, and we're moving into the timing band where we could start the move down into the daily cycle low, and we're just not putting a whole lot of distance between price and this all-important intermediate uptrend line and this 50-day moving average. Gold, to keep the bullish case alive, gold really just needs to get in gear. It needs to get above 2,000, and it needs to right translate this fourth daily cycle by moving above 2026. And right now, none of this stuff is even close to happening, at least not yet. And the daily cycle is starting to run out of days for it to do it. Realistically, we needed this rally here to go above this pivot at 2026. That would have right translated the cycle. It would have done it early in the cycle, and in that scenario, I think we would have been set up to make a higher high above this peak before starting down into the next intermediate cycle low.